Hello, smiling faces. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's well. So this evening, we're gonna be working on our follower mod. Good old gear lock. We're gonna be working on continuing to develop dialogue and unique processes for them, and we're gonna be talking about the lore while we do it, and just having a grand old time hanging out, talking about the lore, creating dialogue packages, giving him some unique stuff. And while we do that, we're going to be hopping in and out of the game to test things and making the giving him that unique historian type vibe. So I'm going through right now, and I started this probably about 20 minutes ago. Just it's kind of like a preamble because I haven't had a chance to really work on him too much since the last episode. And I'm just going through right now, and I'm adding in some lines of dialogue, changing some of the existing lines of dialogue that are there. Some of the ones involving, if they fight the Holy Nation, some of the one, if the target faction is the Holy Nation, to kind of give more of a, more of a, what is it, like a sneak peek or a preview on some of the lore, right? Because again, the whole point of this follower is that I want him to be a, a historian. I want him to have a character that can deliver the lore to you guys in game in a very like organic, interesting way. So I'm kind of changing some of the Holy Nations dialogue to kind of match that. So I'll give you an example. I've got so many windows pulled up right now; it's not even funny. We'll start with here's what we'll do. We'll pull these over, go half and half, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oy vey. um. All right. So previously, this is the original dialogue, and these are the ones that I've changed. So I've only done a couple since I just, started doing this again a couple of minutes ago, and I was getting everything ready. Um, the original lines were kind of vague. Blind devotion will be a nation's sole destruction. So now it's your blind devotion is admirable. If only you weren't so uneducated about your own faith, hinting that Gearlock knows more. He knows more about the Holy Nation than he's willing to talk about it, right? Um, Fear and prejudice only breeds destruction. When will you Okarites learn? Instead, it's fear and prejudice breeds destruction. To think my kind fought a war to spare you from that. Only for this. So I want him to be a character that really like delivers these lines that talk about. They deliver more about Kenshi's history and the lore and all of that stuff in a way that is that feels organic, that feels natural. So I'm going to be going through right now and changing a lot of these dialogue options, and then we'll be loading up the game, starting a new game with him in it, and we'll be bringing him along to different areas to test out, going in and out of locations and all of that stuff. So here we are. And while I'm doing all that, you guys are, of course, always free to ask me questions about the lore or anything like that. So, woo. These like make a mod streams are interesting for me because I didn't think people were going to enjoy them as much as they have, and everyone's been really asking for me to do more. So here we are. But it may be a little bit harder for me to like find things to fill in the space of silence sometimes when there's not like a question in chat or anything like that. So I do apologize for that. Or if I'm typing because I'm trying to think up dialogue and all that stuff. But I will try my best. But with that being said, we're going to keep kind of fiddling with some of the dialogue here. I always have to remember that I have to like switch out the dialogue options. So like here, this is the normal skeleton dialogue. I actually have to remove that, the Gearlock one, because I need to change and give Gearlock his own dialogue package that is not the normal one. So that's Gearlock's dialogue package. Where's he at? Here he is. Okay, so we have to actually change his dialogue package because right now he just has the normal player skeleton one. So we're going to be changing that to the Gearlock dialogue right here. And this way, he'll have his own set of dialogue package that I can go in and edit without having to worry about other skeletons having his dialogue. Because the whole point is that I don't want anyone else to have his dialogue. So even though I was using the skeleton dialogue as a baseline, this will, this will help me deal with that. So, okay, let's. I don't need the Gearlocked intro anymore. I should just need his straight dialogue package. Um, all right. Yeah, we have a lot of windows open. And again, I'm learning about like modding as I go. This is not something that I am familiar with. So you guys are watching me learn how to do this in real time as I'm doing it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that maybe we want to add into the Holy Nation portion. Couldn't catch last stream because of time zone. How has Sentient Sands been going? It is good. It is good. Um, it's really good. So Harvey, the guy who makes Sentient Sands, was actually in the stream last night. He was in the stream answering questions and taking feedback and all that stuff. So hopefully we're going to see some fruits from that. Um, no, it's really good. It's really good. Definitely a couple of bugs. Definitely some features that aren't in there yet. But like for what it is and how long ago it came out, it's coming along very well. I came in mainly to thank you for your contributions to the Kenshi community. I've much appreciated your takes on the lore. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. Anything we can do to keep Kenshi alive until Kenshi 2 comes out. So it's hard, but we're trying our best. Plus Kenshi, there's still so much that is unexplored in Kenshi in terms of lore, in terms of things that we can find, in terms of philosophical discussions and political discussions about Kenshi. Though I try to avoid those to some degree, depending on the circumstances. But um, there's still a lot to do with Kenshi, a lot to talk about. I have 3 upcoming videos that I'm working on right now. For like long form lore videos that will dive into some of that stuff. But yeah, I appreciate that I appreciate your appreciation. Thank you. Um, it means a lot. So thank you very much. Okay, so let's see what else we have in here. We can add these out as we need. Let's see. Fear and prejudice breeds only destruction. To think my kind fought a war. To spare you from that, only for this to be the outcome. And we're gonna pop in game too, and we're gonna test some of this stuff out as we go. It's not gonna be all just me sitting here typing out dialogue and stuff. So, but I want to get a couple of these done before I do that. So, Oakright Fanatic, Stobe would have admonished you for such lunacy. Catlon may have once too. The Holy Nation can't be reasoned with, not in their current state. So much destruction at the hands of the Holy Nation, blind faith, and anything is a poison. I think I like that one. I'll leave that one. All right, and then what's this one? This is, I think this is just like the fight is over, but they took damage. I don't think I'm going to change anything in there for right now. That one seems fine. Stay down if this is just a squad size. Nearly knocked out. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is just various variations depending on how the fight went. This is so right now I'm editing the defeated squad. So this is if Gearlock and his squad won the fight, but what some of the things he may say. I've tried it myself quite a bit, and there's a lot to it. How good it is largely depends on the model you use. I'm currently switching between the free model and the paid one, and using Open Router rather than Player 2. Being rambly, I know. Yeah, so I am currently using the Player 2 one because I am not. I didn't really feel like paying for something that I'm only going to use for Kenshi. I do think I'm going to end up using it in my upcoming series whenever I start that, probably either, later this week or next week, probably next week. So I do think that I am going to end up using it in the series. But, I was saying last night, I think that Sentient Sands in its current state is not, it's not a mod that you can base your entire playthrough around, but it is a mod that you can use to supplement and add value to your current playthrough. But I don't think it's something that at current you can really base your entire playthrough around, not in a way that is meaningful. At least not in a way that would be meaningful for me on stream, that's for sure. But I think that it definitely has a lot of potential. Again, Harvey was in the stream last night. We were talking to him about some of the things that we want to see, some of the things that maybe we're missing. We were going over various bugs and all that stuff. So a lot of good feedback went directly to the creator of the mod last night. And hopefully that feedback gets implemented very well. And hopefully soon as well with new features, bug fixes and stuff based on everything we talked about last night. So, we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely, it's being worked on. He seems like a nice guy. Seems like he's really, involved, so, well, yeah. All right. So, as you'd expect, the paid ones are faster and have higher quality responses. It's not probably not something you can center your playthrough around, but it adds a ton to the gameplay. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Stay down if you know it's good for you. It's done. What a mask. Coast is clear. Moving on. I like those. I think those are fine. I think all of these are relatively fine too. You know, not every line of dialogue that Gearlock says needs to be some big like you know, lore bomb or anything like that. Sometimes he's just gonna talk, and that's okay. Sometimes he's just gonna talk. Okay, so we've got that one. Let's move on to the next one. And eventually, after this, we're gonna start getting into locational data as well. Oh, the follower will be female, wearing some stuff from the workshop. Not this go around. No. I'm making a purely vanilla follower, who is a skeleton historian, who is going to be delivering you guys lore in your game. He's going to be a skeleton that does not follow the skeleton concept of hiding history. He's going to deliver lore in game organically. I'm going to give him unique dialogue with like Io and stuff, where Io does not like him, and the machinist will probably end up attacking him after that, but it's fine. All right, so robot healing others. What do we have? Celestial Squirm, Celestial Beam. You know, I think I can actually add in some good stuff. This is healing other, right? Begun healing another character. Is it just another character, or is it anybody? I think it's anybody. Healing others start. Yeah, I don't see any other healing, so I'm assuming it's just healing anybody. Okay. So first thing we need to do is make a copy of this. This is something that I'm just now getting used to, is that whenever I edit dialogue that is in a like a normal dialogue tree, I actually have to I have to open it up and make a copy of it. Otherwise, I'll edit the dialogue on accident for everybody that uses this particular line of dialogue, not just the one that's here. So basically, I have to make him his own like set of dialogue for everything. For everything. Now that's there. We can actually go through and we can remove this. I can add dialogue. We're going Gearlock healing others. Boom. Boomski. Am I too late to recommend making a hiver who wants to liberate the High faction by assassinating the queens? So technically yes, but that sounds really fucking cool. If you're looking for, I might end up doing something with that. That sounds really cool. If you're looking for a potentially better free model, I'd recommend trying Open Routers Step Fun / Step 3.5 Flash free. I'll give it a look. I'm not too well versed on the whole like LLM thing, like on what does what and all that stuff. Still getting used to all that stuff, you know. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I need to actually edit the stream here. On Twitch. There we go. There we go. I still had it set to Let's Try Sentient Sans. I apologize if anyone's here under false pretenses. Oh, man. Also on the side, the pay models can be a little cheap. Can also be pretty cheap. It's worth looking at, I'd say. Yeah, it's one of those things that I'll look at. Like I said, I'm not too well versed on like what LLMs are good. I don't really use them. I use them for like sorting my notes and stuff like that, but that's really about it. I've only really ever used them for sorting notes and things along those lines. Just because I tend to word vomit sometimes onto a page and I need to sort them into like a coherent thought, so then I can take those notes and turn them into a script. All right, so I've got his dialogue here. Let's open this up and see if we can edit some of these. I do think that some of these would be really cool to edit. Add some maybe that are specific to if I'm healing like another skeleton. I think that would be good. How do I do that? Can I do that? What is the the C8 thing? I've always wondered, is that the number of texts there are? If I add one here, does that change that? C9. Okay, so that's the number of lines of text there are. I've always wondered what that was, like what defined the number here, and that's the number of text boxes that could potentially still like spawn from it. Also, I think I will try modding a bounty target enemy into the game with a Maitao Desert Saver. You know, someone actually told me the other day in my chat, not my chat, in my comment section, how to say Maitao. They told me the actual Japanese pronunciation for it, and I think it was Meito, Meito, Meito. I think it was Meito is what it is. Which I've always said Maitao. I think it's Meito. Is what they said it was. Yeah. Anyway, good to catch your streams for learning. Hell yeah, yeah. Well, I'm still learning myself, so you're going to see me do good things and bad things. So pay attention to which one it is. Hey, Hero, are you at all familiar with Brazilian geography? The Brazilian geographic anomaly that is the Lancois Maranhensis? I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. Nope. 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 Hey, Principe, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome to ZomboCom. Still have yet to see anybody else ever get that reference, which upsets me. Okay, so I'm going to add the dialogue, line of dialogue where this is specifically for skeletons and add line. So let's copy this one and see how it goes. So my race skeleton, which is fine, and that's just under race, right? Okay. So my race skeleton, we love that. There we go. And then I think it's target. Target race, also skeleton. And I think I'm going to add all of the skeletons. So no matter what skeleton he's healing, if he's healing a skeleton, there's a chance he'll say these lines of dialogue. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy some of these, but not all of them. And then I'm going to add in custom ones as well. Look at this nerd. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? That's me. What do you do? I can repair this. Don't move. If it's broken, it can be fixed. That'll do. That would be me. That's okay, though. I'm trying to add ones that are specifically more all that's broken can be fixed, and we'll add in a couple of lines of lore-based dialogue as well. So, what's a good one? Remind you old times back during the war, question mark. And again, this is specifically if he's healing another skeleton. So like he'll say things to these skeletons that are kind of that are like indicative of having been in the war, of having talked. He'll talk about history a little bit more openly with them than he would even with the humans, where he'll drop like hints and stuff with the humans, or he might deliver lore during entering entering areas where he'll talk about stuff. But I think with the skeletons, he's going to be even more candid. I know I'm rambling about Sentient Sands, but you can edit basically any character's biography with the JSON files, useful for ongoing playthroughs and fixing AI mishaps. I think somebody said that last night too. All right. I mean, the whole thing with Shem is that it's just desertification. That's the word. Yeah. I think that's the way to say it. Yeah, desertification. Yeah, desertification. It's the same thing that's happening in like China right now too. Lush landscapes will naturally eventually become, they eventually turn to desert, and Shem is just happening. So Shem is the swamp turning into a desert. The reason why Shem is where it is and why Shem is happening faster is because of its close proximity to Venge. The heat output is causing that decline from being the swamp into the desert, going from a swamp biome to a desert biome to happen faster. So eventually, all of the swamp will look like Shem, and Shem will be a desert, and then eventually, all of the swamp will just be a desert. And this is a something that happens in real life too. You can see that, and again, it's happening currently in China. It's happened in what is it? The Sahara Desert used to be the same thing. These things happen. So, yeah, Shem is just natural desertification. Sounds like I'm talking about something that's wrong. I know the desertification is the right word, but it makes it sound like I'm talking about like food. Anyway, reminds you old times back during the war. The Sahara Desert used to be one of the greenest places. Exactly, exactly. And the swamp is going to do the same thing. It's going to go from one of the greenest places to just it's going to end up looking like Shem eventually, and then eventually it will go from looking like Shem to a full-on desert. I can repair this. Don't move. If it's broken, it can be fixed. Um, all that's broken can be fixed. Reminds you of old times back during the war. Come on, I am sure you have taken worse hits than this. It's been thousands of years. Don't this. Yeah, we're gonna add a couple more of these. Um, oh, and the lake the Soviets overexploited is now and now it's a salt bed. Yeah, now it's a salt bed. Yeah, yep. It's it's normal. These things happen. These things happen. All right. All right, we'll leave that for now. I think that's a good start. There is one thing that I needed to go actually into Gearlock's intro dialogue and change some of his stuff here because there's a couple spelling mistakes. A couple spelling mistakes that I noticed last time when I was doing my testing. There we go. Edit these. Where were they? Kind as always, thanks for hearing me out. I'm not interested in getting stabbed in the back. No, what can I say? Your kind has become much more distressful in recent centuries. First few months tend to cause you to talk about more than usual. I honestly can't recall anything the Soviets improved, nothing beneficial at the least. They made contributions to the space program. And they pushed us to go to the moon first. Well, I say us. They pushed the United States. They made contributions to the space program, and they pushed the United States to go to the moon first. You know, so there's that. Sorry, that was a bad joke. Look, I'm not going to rob you. You have my word. I could have swore there was another one in here. Oh, right, the my name thing. Very important. Gotta remember to do that. You can call me Gearlock. I could have swore there was at least one more in here. It's complicated. If anybody else sees it, let me know because I'm not seeing it. But I could have swore there was one more one more grammatical or spelling mistake in here. You get a warrior. That's what it is. You get warrior. You get a warrior who has walked these lands for thousands of years. Okay, so there's that. So that's taken care of that. That's the Gearlock intro package. Um, we have his defeated squad. We have his healing stuff when he's healing other skeletons. We'll do one or two more, and you know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll do a biome test. We'll edit the dialogue when someone goes into a specific biome or into a specific like location and see what happens there. Biomes, dialogue package, world states, world swaps, diplomatic assaults, lines. Where the hell is it? I don't think it's towns. No, it's not towns. It can't be towns. Is it just here? I don't know. Where's Ven? Uh, actions, biomes. Got to remember where the dialogue packages are for when they go into specific areas. The text is zoomed out for me. is too zoomed out for me to be able to spell check for you. Fair enough. I did zoom in. Like I made the text like the text bigger, but that also is fair. If I make it much bigger on my end, I won't be able to read it at all. Soviets improved their method of warfare against us in the West world a lot. Came from the USSR. And stop this politics, please. Fair enough. Fair enough. My own bench. Here it is. Here it is. This is what it is. The dialogue package for when you go into specific areas. Yeah, so this is when things get wild. So let's go to. Is there a Holy Nation one? Biome Holy Nation. What is this? Holy Nation, no place for a skill. Love it. Okay, so we can add in lines like this. So I'm really gonna focus on the Holy Nation one for right now. Dialogue when entering the purple sands. It's purple. Why is it purple? I don't like it. Why is the sand purple? I don't really care for it. So what we can do is we add an injection note here, or a line of dialogue specifically where if it is this character, they will say this line. And then I think for the injection note, we can just put anyone, and it will be yeah, we could just put anyone other than this. I could put race for anyone other than the skeleton. So what we're gonna do is these ones I don't have to replace, which is cool. So we're gonna add a line of dialogue here, and we're gonna set it so if a specific character is in, if there's a specific character, so, yeah, contract is character. We're gonna say Gearlock. Yes. If Gearlock is there specifically, and I think it's got to be in the party. Is there anyone where it's not like that? World State Phoenix is okay. Yeah, we should probably set it so the world state is the Phoenix is okay. World state add Phoenix is okay. Holy Phoenix is okay. Fantastic. Then he will say the following, and Gearlock specifically will say the following. What's up? Hey, Vivio. What's going on? Vivovi. Sorry. Hey, Vivovi. What's going on? Welcome. We're working on dialogue for our custom follower, for our historian. Seeing how that goes. Okay. Yes. Lands, the Okranite lands. Yes, the Okranites. Good in you? I'm all right. I'm okay. Still tired. Less tired than I was yesterday. Less tired than the day before. We're getting there. It's going to take a couple of days before I'm like awake and functioning again, I feel like. But we're getting there, you know. All right. Yes, the Okranites. A lovely group of people. And I'm going to have add an interjection line. It can be anyone. Gotta remember how to do interjections. I'm excited for the next episode of Tengu's Vault. Oh yeah, guys, Thursday at 2:30 p.m. The next episode of Tengu's Vault is airing on the Tengu's Vault podcast channel. Me and Pedro are going to be talking about the Second Empire, so a lot to talk about on that one. Very excited. Very, very excited. Especially given all the revelations that we had last episode and all of that stuff. Things are it's going to be a wild episode. It's going to be a wild episode. So, Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I started watching your channel a few weeks ago. After subbing, I created a mod list for playthrough, and now I just can't find the time to play. It's always home affairs, car being problematic, and etc. Just can't play this game. Yeah, it's I understand. I haven't like sat down other than yesterday when I was messing with Sentient Sands. That's the first time since last Wednesday I had even really picked up the game, or any game really, because I other than Thursday when I streamed Elden Ring with Muffin. But it's just been life, man. Life is wild right now. I'm super tired, but that's because of the NyQuil. I picked up a cold from the kids. Oh my god, story of my life. Started feeling it last night. I'll probably conk out early tonight. Yeah, I feel like this week my streams are probably gonna like all end around like 10:30, 11. Usually they go till like midnight and stuff, midnight, 1 o'clock, but I'm just so tired. I've been trying to catch up on sleep incrementally while still like fulfilling my responsibilities, you know? Um, you know, as someone who has a stream schedule and also doing my stuff at home and taking care of the kids and working and all that stuff. So I'll probably end up conking out around like 10:30, 11 o'clock, but we'll see how it goes. For reference, it's 9 o'clock right now where I'm at. What's your favorite armor mod? Ooh, that's a tough one. I have a couple that I really, really like. Anything by OSO is usually really, really good. I really like. There's a new samurai armor that just dropped that I'm a really big fan of. I was showing it off last night. Very, very big fan of that one. Still figuring out the name on it because again, it literally just dropped. The Mountain Ronin armor I think is really fucking cool. Really, really cool on that. Anything that is injected from Elder Scrolls is usually a win in my book. Like there's the Pelennor White Strike armor, there's the Imperial Guard armor from Oblivion that I used on my Dwarf playthrough. There's the Dawn Guard armor that I used on my Dwarf playthrough from Elder Scrolls 5. Um, yeah, I think if I had to pick my favorite though, it's probably a toss between um it's probably a toss between the Mountain Ronin armor and I really like the new samurai armor that dropped. The new samurai armor mod that dropped. Really, really big fan of it. Uh, okay, let me see how I do the interjections. What's up with that? So interjection, no, this is just a random interjector, and I'm pretty sure AI contract. It means that it has to be one of these races, right? Easy for you to say. All right, and it's just yeah, a bunch of temperamental. Just detect holy. I'm sure will be fine. And then this is the thing for it. Okay, so we're gonna add an injector in there. AI contract, and this is gonna be uh oh, so it's not AI contract, is it race? I think it's just race. Target race, my race, action. Yeah, what's the deal with that? My race? It's my race. Okay, so the interjection node is my race. Got it. Got it. So it's gonna be anybody that's not a skeleton. So we're gonna do Greenlander, Scorchlander, Shek, Hiver. Oh, is it? Hold on. Hive Prince, Hive Drone, Hive Worker. We'll add all the Hivers in just in case. Well, all the normal Hivers. Southern Hive too, just because sometimes those things happen. Impaler armor is pretty sick. Impaler armor. I don't know if I'm familiar with the Impaler armor. Is it the Lemmeleur style armor? Lemmeleur with the overlapping plates could be leather and steel. It might be. It might be. I have to pull it up and tell you what it is. I could tell you in a minute. When we go to load up the game, I'll tell you what it is. I always had this in mind. What's the purpose of the high soldier's head? Bigger field of vision? Do their heads do any type of sensor like a hammerhead shark? What's it for? Well, if you ask logic, it's that way they'll die easier because they can't wear helmets. But aside from logic's, criminal levels of hatred towards the Hive soldiers, my reasoning behind it is that the Hive soldiers are modeled after the soldier bot skeletons, which follows in line with the idea that the skeletons commissioned they're making. And the idea was to make humans more like skeletons. Um, and so the Hive soldier bots have the long head forward and backward. The soldier bots have the long head front to back. The Hive soldiers have the long head side to side. I imagine it's to increase field of vision, but that's probably uh, the best idea I have from it. Yeah, I imagine it's like an increased field of vision thing, but also again, they're clearly modeled after um, the skeleton that they are like directly opposite of. So, okay, so we have the interjector note, and now we add a line of dialogue. And do I have to add the? yeah, the specification for it with that line of dialogue. So we'll have to add the races in as well. We did on the interjector notes, which is fine. Can I copy all of these, or do I have to? Nope, 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 nope. We'll do interjector 1. Fantastic. Dot dot dot. You're kidding, right? Are there zealots who attack anyone who doesn't look or act the they want? Skeletons most of all. The Hive soldiers were given hammerhead shapes because the creators wanted them to have an engineering bonus, but something got lost in translation, so now they're too dumb to wear helmets to best tensions and whatnot. It's funny. All right, add line. Me being Gearlock, so I'm gonna. And we're gonna test this line here in just a couple of minutes. Is character add Gearlock. Yeah, this looks right. This looks. I am kidding. Yes. Oh, believe it or not, they weren't always so bad. In fact, you to know they once lived alongside skeleton kind and even looked at some of us as heroes, though that was a long, long time ago. Love it. Love it. And so this is the kind of stuff that I want to do where it's like he drops the lore on you guys and he kind of gives you a little bit more context to the world, but he does it in a way that feels realistic. So how come the player faction can't break down walls and destroy stuff like the NPCs can? I don't know. I wish they could. I hope that we get proper siege mechanics and stuff like that in Kenshi too, because I never understood why we can't do that. Interjector 1, which is going to be this guy right here. Yeah. Oh, you mean to tell me they holy nation? Hold on. You should add in little Easter eggs like the Phoenix, like the Phoenix. This is thinks if he thinks that he's a hero in his head. Sorry, it took me a minute to realize what you were talking about. The Phoenix thinks he's a hero in his head. Maybe I'll do that. That'd be funny. I think I'll do that when I'm talking about Catlon. I think it'll be really funny to do it about Catlon. Or Tin Fist. Maybe when he's talking about Tin Fist. It'll be funny. It'll be good. It'll be good. So you mean to tell me that the Holy Nation, the anti anything that isn't human theocracy to live with skeletons and live with skeletons. Add line. Going to be the same thing. We're going to do is character Gearlock. And I think we're going to hop in game and test it right after I'm done with this line of dialogue. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was after the war. though that was right after the war. So sentiments were different back then. They weren't called Holy Nation. They were and then I think I'm gonna have the human character be confused, or the other character be confused, because again, like he's spitting these truths out and he's talking about this stuff, but I don't think the other characters like the humans or the Shek are just gonna be like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of times they're gonna be like, dude, what are you even fucking talking about? It's gonna be more so for you as the player, you know. What race is this skeleton? I assume he's just a normal skeleton race, like the standard, you know, skeleton, like Burn and all of them. So I didn't want to make him like a P4 unit or anything like that. I wanted him to be a normal skeleton. He wasn't like a managerial warrior. He wasn't like a big deal during the war or in Catlan's government. He's just a skeleton that doesn't adhere to the whole let's hide the truth kind of thing. In addition to that, too, like I said, he's freshly reset too. So like I'm gonna have him make comments as they're traveling around and stuff like that, where he's brings up that like he's only been like this version of himself for a couple of months and he's still figuring out who he is, and like he'll talk about the resets maybe a little bit more in depth comparatively to you know, the normal skeleton dialogue where they're like, if I reset I'll lose my skills, but they don't really talk about it much after that. I wanted to talk about it maybe a little bit more. So um so that was right after the war, so sentiments were a bit different back then. They weren't called the Holy Nation. Right. I'm just gonna have him be like, right. That should be fine. So let's see if we can get this to trigger. Now that we have this all on here, it should trigger if Gearlock is the player is in the squad. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna boot up Kenshi. Actually, I need to open Kenshi from my file explorer because it's not gonna boot up through the normal. Who's more schizo, Armor King, Catlan, or Tin Fist? Tin Fist. Tin Fist. Tin Fist, then Catlan, then Armor King. Catlan seems more like crazy, but that's just because he had more power and authority. His stuff was felt more. But Tin Fist is off his fucking nut. Off his nut. There we go. All right, so we'll boot up Kenshi. I do not want to boot up Kenshi right now. Do you want? No, no, we're gonna skip that. I'm not in the mood for any of that stuff right now. And I also am going to disable Sentient Sands for right now. This is the one I was talking about, by the way. The Hated Mecker's new Samurai armor set. Really feckin' cool. Really feckin' cool. All right, so this shouldn't be Kenshi. This should just be normal Kenshi, which is good. Kenshi's got an update, and part of the update is that it'll boot up Kenshi from the normal Kenshi menu, which is really cool. The downside to it is that I can't use Kenshi for collecting footage and stuff because Kenshi does not have free cam mode, so I need to have access to the normal Kenshi still. All right, so we're just gonna make a random character. We're gonna get Gearlock into the squad, and then we're gonna head up into Holy Nation territory and see if anything is there. See how that works out. Are there unique dialogue lines in the mod yet after fighting certain enemies, like how Sad Neil says, I guess this makes me a murderer after winning his first fight? I haven't done anything like that yet, no. My dialogue additions are basically what I did on last stream. So the introduction, like recruiting him to the squad and stuff like that. And so adding him to the squad, and then the stuff that I've just done since I started up this stream here. And I'm gonna do stuff I'm gonna add stuff like on the back end as well when I'm not streaming, just to kind of get it out to you guys sooner. But Still, wait, all the improvements in Kenshi, and yet they don't have free cam, huh? Yeah, they had to take it out because they're waiting on some files from Lo-Fi. They need a specific set of files from Lo-Fi in order to add it in. It used to be there. In the current model, it is not. Once they get the data and stuff that they need from Lo-Fi, they'll be able to add it in. But right now, the mod author is unable to activate free cam because they're missing some files from Lo-Fi. So they got to get them from them. And Lo-Fi was like, "Hey, we'll send them to you," but at the time they had requested them, it was right before Christmas break, and Lo-Fi takes like 2-3 weeks off at the end of the year. And so they emailed them back and was like, "Hey, we'll get to you when the break's over," and it just hasn't happened yet. So is Lo-Fi open about that sort of stuff? Yeah, they're usually pretty good about that stuff. Every conversation I've ever had with them, they're pretty open about that kind of stuff. They're pretty supportive of their communities and stuff like that. So. All right, so we have our dialogue to bring him in. He approached us. Hey, how you doing? So we've got our recruitment dialogue. So we're going to go ahead and add him to the party. Now Gearlock is in our party. You can call me Gearlock. I look forward to working with you. Fantastic. So he's following and talking. He shouldn't be following and talking anymore. Good. All right, so now we're going to head up to Holy Nation territory, and we're going to see how that goes. Hopefully. Well, firstly, we have to get down there alive, so let's head off over that way. But yeah, no, Lo-Fi is usually pretty open about that stuff. Not only are they open about it, though, they did it for him the first time. You know, the individual who made the mod, I say him, I don't actually know if it's a guy or a girl. I think statistically it's probably a guy, just because I think 97% of Kenshi players are men. That's not me like saying that. That's like the actual data for it. That's why, what is it? Every Kenshi YouTuber has when you look at their stats for Kenshi, it's like 97+% men. I just wanted to clarify that I'm not like being like stereotyping or anything along those lines, or being, I don't know, something else. Anyway, my point is, the one who made Kenshi got the files from them the first time. They just need the updated files. That's the only reason it's not there. Every day, the fan art section of the Kenshi server feels like a war zone. Oh god, don't even get me started. I know. Yeah. Skeletons laugh on the inside. We're too depressed to laugh on the outside. So we're gonna have to come in and out of here a couple of times. See if we can trigger. Trigger this. Oh shit! Shit! We're getting mauled. This is not going well for us. They're going to kill me. Well, that was great. Does he have? Well, he can get up and repair himself. Outstanding. I'm just over here trying to test things, and this is what happens. This is my punishment. It's always the same 3 guys causing a mess. I put a fan up and they start a 2-paragraph nonsense. I know the exact 3 guys you're talking about, and you are correct. I know the 3 guys that you're talking about, and you're totally correct. That is, in fact, the exact same 3 guys. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the where is that? The Holly Sar. That's the one, and we're gonna drop damage and cause of death down, increase hunger all the way up. That way we don't have to worry about dying nearly as much, and we'll start out with a better weapon. Yeah, it is literally the same 3 guys. You are totally correct on that. Funny. It's like that in the lore section of the server, too. The general chat is usually pretty good. I feel bad for the admins. They had to add a new set of rules just for the fan art section, and they still don't follow it. I know. Our poor holy lady has to try so hard. The poor holy lady has to try so hard. Although they've been cracking down quite a bit more recently on some of that crap, which is cool. Things were a little lax for a while, and recently I've noticed them really cracking down a lot more of it, on it a lot more in the Discord. So, Kenshi 2 should have hand-to-hand toggles so you can keep your weapon equipped while fist fighting. Dude, I wholeheartedly agree. The same way they have the range toggle. All right, let's run around until we find Gearlock. Around here somewhere. There we go. I specifically made it so that way he chases after you, so it's easier to recruit him. Easier to find him, easier to recruit him. Okay, let's try this again. We're going to go up to the Holy Nation territories and see how that goes. We have to be careful, though, so that way we don't get mauled. I'm going to save it closer to up there this time. That way I can just reload if I have to. I also think this follower could have interesting dialogue with the machinist at World's End. So I'm going to have a line of dialogue set up where he actually will have lines of dialogue with Io, and then Io will, after the dialogue is over, actually attack him. I want them to be hostile towards I want them to be hostile towards him because he's not doing the whole we're not supposed to talk about the First Empire and the Age of Chaos thing. He's kind of a lot more open about the reality of things, and so I think Io's going to take a problem with that and is actually going to put out a bounty on him with the machinists. Gotta fight this man. Where's my vagabond at? There you are. There you are. We may have to do some repairs. We may have to fix ourselves up a wee. Just a tick. There we go. Imagine a skeleton getting mad at a hiver and just calling him, "You damn science experiment." Oh, dude, he's going to have some interesting lines of dialogue with the hivers. He's going to have some interesting dialogue with the hivers. Very interesting lines of dialogue with the hivers. I haven't quite figured out what they are yet, but I do want to give him some interesting lines of dialogue with the hivers. I just don't know what they are yet. All right, I think you're in a recovery coma. We gotta pick your ass up. But I'm not the one who came from a test tube, literally. I think I'll have him say something along the lines of of all the experiments that Catlon performed, I think the hivers are the most one of the more sickening ones, or something like that. Something along those lines. But it would be hilarious if he straight up had a hatred against hivers. Maybe. I don't know. We haven't gotten that far yet. Hold on. We're doing the Holy Nation stuff first. Hold on. We haven't gotten that far yet. It'd be funny. I think he might have a particular issue with the queens. And maybe he'll have an issue with the hivers, and then if a hiver character questions him on it, why do you have such animosity for the hivers? He'll be like, it's not really an animosity for the hivers in general. It's what they represent. They remind him of what it was like to be stuck to a hive mind or stuck to the mainframe back in the old days during the First Empire, before he was an individual. That kind of thing. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be a deep rooted hatred, but more nah, I don't. They remind me of bad worse times. Not really a fan, All right, so I'm going to pop down here, save it. All right, and we're just going to name this as the gear lock dialogue. All right, so we'll do this for the test. Now let's see. Having that Stove City that you did as a town mod would be cool. Yeah, I should really start releasing some of my builds as mods. Something else I need to do is I'm actually going to put out a little note on Reddit and in the Discord server, the Kenshi Discord, the official Kenshi Discord, to have people send me either screenshots of their base or ideally their save files for their base. And I want to go on and do videos where I will not critique the base, but talk about the base and go through it and this is what I would improve. This is what I like. This is something that you did that I've never thought to do before, like that kind of thing. I think that'd be fun. That could be a fun little idea there. But I got to get around to doing it. I have like 5 other projects I'm working on currently, and I'm about to start full production of the anthology series as well. Now that I'm um, working on a bunch of other stuff, and I've gotten the Star Wars playthrough out of the way and all that jive. So we'll be working on the anthology series very soon. All right, so no dialogue yet. Nope, nope. Again with this whole laughing on the outside thing. All right, I need to. It may take a couple of tests before we're able to get it properly working. Because again, it's a percentage chance. So like, Gearlock is in the party, but does he need to be in the front of the party? It says if character is Gearlock, he can say that, but well, we'll see. We'll see. Let's head on up. We're depressed. We reset our skills. Yeah, so I got to change that one. Will he have comments on how different water levels are? He could enter a biome with abandoned boats like Stobe's Gambler, Flat Lagoon, and point them out. Yeah, I plan on doing all that stuff. Basically, this follower mod is going to be like the compendium of all of my lore. All of my lore content, you're going to be able to hear it in real time by like while you're playing the game and get it delivered to you in game. I'm gonna take like all of my theories, all of the lore videos, all that stuff, and I'm gonna jam them into Gearlock's dialogue so you can learn about them organically, as well as just like add them to your playthrough, add them to your playthrough, have all that stuff. So see if I back up and go back in a few times if that will change anything. Ugh, I should edit his stats temporarily and make him faster, but we can move a little damn faster here. I have to reload again. There's going to be a lot of reloading happening as I'm trying to get this to work. Now I gotta do a fan art of Gearlock for the Steam picture. Hell yeah, that'd be fire. Absolutely fire. Absolutely fire. Speaking of fan art, somebody in Pedastrophia's community is doing fan art of him and I, and it's really funny. I think it's Reggie. I think Reggie's doing it. All this talk of the Bugmaster, dude. I'm so sick of the Bugmaster one. What the fuck, man? It just keeps replaying the Bugmaster dialogue. Yeah, someone in Pato's Discord is doing fan art of Pato and I for the Tengu's Vault podcast. It's really funny. Really funny. They were asking us the other day what weapons and armor we prefer and about how tall we were. And it just so happens that Pato and I are basically the same in so many ways. So Pato, this is super ironic. Yeah, why is it just the Bugmaster one? What is up with that? Do I have to assign percentage chance to his dialogue? Hold on, I think we have a bug. I think we've run into a bug. Biome Holy Nation. Yeah. We keep doing this Bugmaster crap. Why is that? Is it just under random random travel dialogue? Agnew. Biome. Biome arrival Bugmaster. Is that what this is? This is where the Bugmaster's been has lived for hundreds of years. Hello. What? This isn't me. This is a skeleton character saying this. What? What? Hold on. This is vanilla dialogue. How have I never seen this dialogue before? Specifically this one. This is a skeleton character. If the character is a skeleton, they say this. This confirms that the Bugmaster has been here for hundreds of years. How have I not seen this dialogue before? This isn't a Shek. This isn't a human. This is a skeleton saying verbatim, this is where the Bugmaster has lived for hundreds of years. How have I never seen that before? I mean, like, I already knew that, but like, The fuck, man? How I never seen this before. This is a skeleton character literally confirming it. This isn't like hypothetical Shaq being like, "Oh, this we've been fighting the Bugmasters since 1995," right? Like this is literally a skeleton character who's been around the entire time, saying verbatim, "This is where the Bugmaster has lived for for hundreds of years." Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yeah. Honestly, to me, this all but confirms it, man. The Bugmaster is hundred is 1,000 plus years old. It has to be. Like this is again, it's a skeleton character that's been around the whole time. It's not a hypothetical from like a Shaq. It's not, rumor or conjecture. It's a character that has been there. As like right here, very clearly, a skeleton character has to be in the party for this line of dialogue to be said. Um, and the Bugmaster has to be alive, and that skeleton will say the Bugmaster has lived here for hundreds of years, confirming that the Bugmaster is hundreds of years old. All but confirms that for me. All but confirms it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Weird fact, teeth have 5 grams of protein, so the Bugmaster's collection is just a protein stack. Who needs creatine? Got my whey protein in the form of human teeth. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I don't know how I never noticed that dialogue before. Crazy. Okay, good to know. I'll be back for that. How about we agree to never speak about the Bugmaster's treasure again? Because it's teeth. Very interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep that in the back note. That's not what I was looking for, but I will be keeping that in the back of my head. Okay. I'm looking for that Catlon dialogue specifically. Has any Shek reached the Bugmaster? We don't know. Probably not. I'm a bit level with you because not only do the Shek, like the problem with the way that the Shek handle the Bugmaster thing is they don't go in as like a group or an army. They go in as a solo Shek. They fight solo, and they're also the older Shek who are starting to see their skills wane. Um, so like you have warriors that are starting to falter trying to charge through an army of skin spiders solo. Like I'd say probably not. I'd say probably not. I would say probably not. I was going to show you my base a couple streams ago. It's about 95% finished. Want to see it? Absolutely. Absolutely. What is this dialogue? What are these random stuff? Okay. Fighting. This is random fighting dialogue. Oh, stuff. Okay. Gearlock ones. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the random like movement dialogue is. Also, what constitutes Okranite territory? I guess that's something else I should look at as well. What constitutes Okranite territory um in the Holy Nation, like the biome Holy Nation? What constitutes that? Does it say biome Holy Nation? Kansas Northern Skeleton. I think it's literally just the areas that the Holy Nation has, um, like that the Holy Nation owns. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just any area that the Holy Nation owns. We may just have to run it a couple of times, but I keep getting that one line of that same line of dialogue the whole Bugmaster, Tin Fist, Arc, crap. A warrior's death is the only death befitting of a Shek, said by some asshole. His name was Krull. You can send them to me on Discord. You can send them to me on Discord. If any Shek reached him, they didn't live to talk about it. No, they did not. What I had in mind, Igor was part of the anti-slavers just over the United Cities. What if that I had in mind, Igor is part of the anti-slavers and just runs over the United Cities with the two of the strongest guys, literally. Igor and Tin Fist would fucking absolutely devastate. I don't think they would. I don't think it'd be like a wash, but they'd really mess some things up bad. They'd mess some things up bad. We may have to go deeper into Holy Nation territory. That may be part of the issue, because right now we're just not. We're not getting the dialogue only once. Oh wow, a lot of the stuff is set up to only be said one time. Yeah, I think each of these can only be said one time. Interesting. I think we'll set it up for only once too. That makes sense. I don't think he'd have these whole lines of dialogue multiple times. I do not have your Discord. Are you on the official Kenshi Discord? Because you can send it there. I also believe that you could post it on my community tab on YouTube if you have screenshots as well. I believe under the community tab you're able to do posts on there as well. Or you can send it to me on Reddit. Hero in his head on Reddit. Those will all work. My crazy mind imagining Igor and Tin Fist performing a fastball special. Oh my god. My god. Okay, I mean I guess we'll keep going. I haven't seen there. Maybe we'll get rid of the whole world state thing and just make it so that when they pop in, that's what they say. Should be fine. All right, well, we're going to save it and try again. Let's boot it up and give it a go. No. Let's skip that version. I have no interest in upgrading Kenshi until they give me free cam. I can't afford it. I need free cam. It's quintessential to my style, my cinema, to make cinema. I gotta make fresh cinema for you guys. All right, we're gonna load game. I'm gonna do an import on this. Good to go. All right, let's import and see what's going on. I'll DM the screenshots. Hell yeah, excited about it. Stoked. Fucking stoked. Absolutely stoked. I don't know. Igor is a Southern Hive. It's implied he knew the other Southern Hive in Tengu's vault, if I recall. If Igor teamed up with Tin Fist, the UC wouldn't exist as a faction at the start of the game. I mean, well, the thing is like like Igor and Tin Fist can't solo the entirety of the United Cities. They would get dropped eventually. If Tin Fist was capable of wiping out the UC, he would have done it already. So, there is that. With that being said, Igor, it is implied he does know Esper, but like, I think Esper is an attempt at creating another Igor, if I recall. Or I'd have to look more into that, but like, because the implication is that Igor was kidnapped and was tortured, and that's how, and like basically tortured into like becoming loyal to Tengu. He's given like Stockholm syndrome effectively, and that's how he became what he is now. He was tortured into submission. So yeah, there's another Southern Hive locked up in Tengu's vault called Esper. Esper. I think it might be Esper actually. All right, we're gonna head north, try and dodge the Holy Nation. I want to try to get into actual Holy Nation territory instead of just like on the outskirts over here. Try to get into the actual territory itself. Dodge the paladins. Dodge the Hungy boys and the Paladinos. I knew about Esper, just never knew he had a correlation with Igor. I don't remember if it's explicitly stated or what the deal is, but like two southern hives, two southern hives in Tengu's vault. One of them was tortured into insanity and now became like effectively the most deadly weapon that they have. I could see why they would want to replicate those results. I could see why they might want to replicate those results. All right, we're gonna move around for a little while. I should get the mod that adds what is it? Increases the likelihood of dialogue happening. We're moving through. Is it just arrival dialogue or is it just moving? I'm pretty sure it's just moving dialogue, but Okrin's Pride. Come on. Come on. Holy Nation lands. Wasn't that my lucky day? Okay, so we're gonna come back here because we should be able to farm this spot for dialogue now that we're actually getting the Holy Nation dialogue. I don't think they can get those results with a worker drone. Maybe they want them for a different purpose. Like, what is it? Most probably already was that dead. Most probably already was that deadly beforehand. I mean, yes. Like, I don't think they necessarily made him stronger, but like, I'm sure that they have some kind of purpose for him, and his hatred and aggression definitely makes it like makes him even more suited for combat now than he probably was before. He's far more aggressive. But like my thought is that potentially they see the value in the Southern Hive because of Igor. Like Igor is a soldier. He is an effective warrior. Well, what if we take another this is like a stupid harebrained idea that I could see them coming up with. We turned a hive soldier into an absolute killing machine, a deadly weapon that everyone's terrified of. What if we take a southern hive worker drone and we do the same thing to him? Is he going to triple our resource production? Is he going to be like the best slave we've ever had? You know, um, I could see that being like the level of harebrained stupidity logic that they would come up with. Again, the nobles and Tengu and all them are not particularly smart. They're not particularly intelligent people. Um, and the other thing too is like I imagine that like what is it? Igor is like he's like an exotic commodity for them. Like he's a southern hiver and he's his kind are violently aggressive and they attack and kidnap anyone that comes near their territories and they're incredibly difficult to kill and well trained. But then there's one of them leading the samurai. Like, he's an exotic, like dangerous threat. And I can imagine they would want some of those in other parts of their nation as well. Look at how wealthy we are. Look how powerful we are. We have Southern hivers working for us. Like it's a status thing. I could totally see them doing that. I could totally see them doing that. An exotic pet almost. Yeah, literally. It's like it's such an anime trait, like an anime trope too, where it's like there's this really dangerous race, and then it turns out that like the general of some kingdom is that race, or like some high like it's a whole thing, right? It's such a trope, and it's the kind of trope that I would wholeheartedly expect to come from lo-fi. To be honest with you, it's funny. Like importing a tiger to Rome, exactly. Or like, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Or Igor has a special relationship with Esper, and the UC are holding him hostage to force Igor to do his bidding, lest they kill him. I don't think that's the case. Igor seems pretty indifferent. He seems like he doesn't really give a shit. He seems like he doesn't really give a shit. He does what he wants. He kills who he wants. He seems more interested in violence than anything else. His dialogue is pretty indicative of violence. All of his men are afraid of him. It's bad when your own samurai unit is like, oh God, please God, no. Don't let him go on another rampage. Please God, no. Like, they're terrified of him. And that's a level of fear and whatnot that I like, he's got to enjoy it. There's got to be a degree of enjoyment that comes out of it. He can't just be doing this because they're holding someone hostage. That's nuts, you know. Igor's funny dialogue, or when you kidnap one of his allies, he says about saving them. Yeah, dude, Igor's dialogue is really funny. He's got some funny shit. He says some funny stuff. He says some funny stuff. Okay. Okay, boss. Trying to get this damn dialogue to trigger. This is going to be the most annoying part is working to get the dialogue to trigger. This is why I'm like, I'm going to do like many lines of dialogue and then test one or two of them and then do more lines of dialogue and then test one or two of them. I need to get back over this way, back into another biome. What type of scuff shit did they do to him to break his mind, his will, and turn him into a slave? I mean, torture anyone long enough, you know? It's got to be bad. The thing is the hivers don't like hivers. We already know they don't handle individuality very well. Not initially, anyway. Most of them end up, you know, committing Sudoku um, upon becoming individuals, upon losing their connection to the hive mind. So, like, imagine if you have to deal with the burden of sentience, the burden of intelligence and individuality, all crushing down upon you as you're separated from the hive mind while simultaneously being tortured. So you don't even have an identity, right? Like you haven't formed an identity or an individual personality or consciousness yet. And the first thing that becomes of you as you are forming that identity is excessive amounts of torture in a weird, like, Pavlovian conditioning style setup where, like, you do what they want, you get reward. You don't do what they say, you get beaten and get tortured. He's not even an adult or like anybody that has a pre-existing like concept of individuality or intelligence or mind or anything like that. He's forming that at the same time this Pavlovian conditioning and torture is happening. Um, I mean, it's not a surprise he turned out the way that he did. It's not a surprise that he's as violent as he is, and that he listens the way that he does, you know, and that he just is how he is. His entire individual identity was formed while simultaneously being tortured, while simultaneously being conditioned. You know, they didn't have to break him; they built him. You know, they effectively built him. They didn't break him; they just built him. Separating from the hive mind is what broke him. Everything else is just was after the fact. Oh my god. Getting this line to propagate is going to be such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in my ass. I'm just trying to see if the dialogue works. Any minute now. Igor and Beep is like two sides of the same coin, I guess. I mean, kind of, yeah. In a way. Beep is a lot more innocent. You know, Igor was tortured straight out of the gate, whereas Beep was kind of just like abandoned but retains his innocence. Like Beep is what Igor, you know, potentially could have been if he wasn't under different circumstances. Though I imagine that Igor would have been more aggressive and violent just by nature of him being both a soldier and a Southern Hive. But you know, the idea still remains. I think that that's a an interesting like observation that just like the difference in their circumstances upon gaining sentience is what really really dictated how they turned out in many ways, you know. Was Igor's name given to him by the United Cities as propaganda, or did he already have that name? Usually Hiver names are given to them by the first thing that they see or do upon like becoming sentient. They give themselves their name. That's the general consensus. So Beep's first thing upon becoming sentient was that he beeped, and so he called himself Beep. Um, and so the implication is that when Igor became sentient, the burden of sentience and the removal from the Southern Hive's hive mind caused him to have a violent outburst, and he gored someone's eye out with his bare hands. And that was probably during the act of capturing him, um, to bring him in for torture. If I had to like assign a story to it, he probably during the capture or anything like that is when the hive mind separated him or he was lost and whatnot. Um, and he ended up goring someone's eyes out with his hands, jamming the old fingies in there, and that's where he got the namesake from. That's what I would imagine for it, because like I said, typically hivers are named after the first thing that they experience upon breaking free from the hive mind. So that one security guard seeing how the 6 foot tall mass of muscle hiver gains sentience and is launching at you. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. If I had to guess, here's the story that here's the this is the completely unconfirmed story. Igor gets separated from the princes. I've talked about in other videos how the princes act as transponders to the range of the queen's pheromones, and how hive soldiers are less likely to become sentient compared to any other form of hiver, because the hive soldiers are typically in close proximity to either the queen, or a prince or the queen. Um, so Igor gets separated from the southern hive for whatever reason. The burden of sentience overwhelms him, and he is like he's unconscious. Okay, he gets knocked unconscious during some kind of tussle, whether it be with a bandit faction, whether it be with wildlife. We don't know what it is, but he gets knocked unconscious. The other hivers leave him for whatever reason, right? Maybe the getting knocked unconscious separated him. He's knocked out. He wakes up to being surrounded by United City samurai who, found him, and they were going to bring him to Tengu's vault for questioning or for whatever it was. Maybe they were trying to get a reward from Tengu, whatever it may be. They bring him to Tengu's vault, but when he wakes up, he realizes immediately that he's no longer part of the hive mind. He's burdened with the individuality, the sentience, all of it rushes in at once. And in a fit of rage, the first samurai that he sees, he gouges their eyes out and attacks them. They subdue him, they drag him off to Tengu's vault, and then they torture him into submission. They basically use Pavlovian conditioning with torture to, condition him to their will. And now you have Igor. That's how you got Igor. But I think that the first thing he did after waking up and being burdened with sentience was that he attacked the nearest thing to him, which was a UC samurai, and gouged their eyes out, and that's how he got the name. How he gave himself the name Igor. That would be my story. That's the story that I've concocted. Oh my fucking god, man, this is so annoying. Okay, let me pop up here, save, and then reload, and we'll come back down and try again. Give me one of those fucking things. Any idea for you have for Igor being the butcher of Black Scratch? Yeah, I think that it's just that Igor was in Black Scratch, and maybe his conditioning hadn't fully taken over yet. Maybe it worked a little too well. I think he saw something that triggered him, and he fucking lost it and just started killing everything in sight. I think it was earlier on in his conditioning, but I think Black Scratch was like the first time they let him out. I think they wanted to see how effective he was. Following that Hiver naming convention, green is green because he would have gained sentience in the swamp, which is green. Exactly. Beep is beep because the first thing he saw was beep. Um, yeah, I mean, like the first thing he heard was him saying beep. You know, Ray is Ray because I don't know, maybe the first thing he saw was like the sun rays, like the sun ray from the beams in Venge or something like that. Like there's a lot of different ways that you could interpret it. But yeah, typically hybers are named after the first thing they see or the first thing they experience after they gain sentience. Definitely Igor is not my favorite character for sure. I don't know. I don't know. You do talk about Igor a lot. I don't know. I don't think we're having any luck with this with getting this dialogue to trigger, which is annoying. It is annoying, very much annoying. But that's okay. I know that it's in there and it should trigger, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit and we're going to work on some more dialogue, work on some other stuff as well. It's in here. We know that it's here. We can go from there. And that's fine. That's fine. So what are some other good areas that we would want to talk about there? Is there one? Well, what is it? Capture a slave, holy paladin. That's what the paladins say. Let's see if there's any other Holy Nation dialogue that we can go for. Um, Paladin, Holy Nation info. Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna go for biome. Biomes are the ones that we're doing. Floodlands. Ooh, floodlands are good. Okay. Um, Race skeleton. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We're actually going to copy this dialogue very similarly, but I'm going to edit it. I don't think I can copy just that one line. I'm pretty sure I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do. Okay, that's fine. Dialogue, add line, same thing. Is character, add gear lock. Now the cool thing is the Floodlands is pretty open. They talk about what this stuff was pretty without much of an issue, which I think is cool. Only once, same thing. Only once. If Gearlock's in the party, he'll say it. Don't let them see that half my Kenshi fan arts are just Igor. Speaking of Kenshi fan arts that are Igor, I saw your Igor fan art where he had the spiky beard, and badass dude. Igor needs a spiky chitinous beard. He needs a spiky chitinous beard. That's fucking terrifying, and it's so cool. So fucking cool. Igor needs a spiky chitinous beard. It looked really good. It looked really, really good. Looked really, really good. Okay. Place is even older than I am. Add line. Millennia ago, it was the center of production, my kind. I'm going to say nearly every skeleton still walking the face of Kenshi. I'm like, nope, he doesn't say Kenshi. Walking the world, and I forget. I keep having to remind myself that the word Kenshi is never like they never call the place Kenshi at all in game. Keep having to remind myself of that. Nearly every skeleton still walking the world, and even those have since been decommissioned, were born right here. What is that? What got there? What is that asterisk? What is that? Change score bonus. What is the score bonus? This can artificially adjust the score to give a line priority. Oh. Ew. Okay, so we're actually going to give Gearlock's lines higher priority. I'm going to give him a 5. And I believe what that means is that if this character is in there, it will prioritize this line. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna give his lines um we're gonna give his lines 100% score bonus priority. He will say these lines if he is in the party only one time, but like if he's in the party, his lines get priority. And I like that. At least not for all of them, but like for some of them. Like this one, if he's in the party, he's not going to do this vague shit. He's going to say this. Okay. Millennia ago, it was the center of production for my kind. Nearly every skeleton walking the world, and even those who have since been decommissioned, were born right here. After the ancient empire fell, it too fell to disrepair. Though I'm gonna be kind of speculative on this one, almost like maybe he's a little foggy on it. Though, if I, god damn it, recall, production had halted prior to that. Resources start to dwindle. Yeah, after the ancient empire fell, it too fell into disrepair. Though, if I recall, production had halted prior to the resource. After the resources started to dwindle, because of this place that the northern folk became what they are. And I'm gonna kind of just leave it at that, right? I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. The idea is that like it's because of the glaying, right? The chemical glaying and stuff. I've talked about this before, the heavy metal poisoning, but maybe he doesn't dive into that wholeheartedly. Um, uh, I'm gonna do one line. I'm gonna do we didn't realize the metals and chemicals had seeped that deep into the soil. I think I'm gonna leave it right there. Yeah. So you go into the floodlands and he kind of talks about all that. It's good. Holy Phoenix performs the Stone Cold Stunner on that Asana. If there was a WWE of Kenshi characters, who would you want to see fight? I mean, I'm kind of doing a WWE of Kenshi characters in a way. We got the Kenshi Coliseum, you know. If there was a WWE event of Kenshi characters, who would I want to see? Um, hmm, let me think about it. Just straight hands, straight nothing but hands, nothing but hands. Um, hmm, who would I want to see? That's an interesting one. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I think Catlon and Tin Fist would be fun. Just full on. What is it like? Real steel style fight. That'd be fun. Um, I think seeing Seta and Valtina go at it with um Asada and Igor would be funny. I don't know. I don't know. There's a couple things you could do with that. What an interesting question. What an interesting question. Crawl versus Igor. Ah, dude, I haven't even considered Crawl. I hope we get some. I hope we get some kind of information on Crawl and Kenshi too. You know, it's the idea is that like what is it? The Shek should be in their pre-Crawlian state by then. Like Crawl shouldn't be a thing yet, unless like Crawl is connected to the lore in a way we haven't connected yet. You know, I've heard some people try to say that like Stobe was also Crawl, but like that doesn't connect the way that like Catlon does and all that stuff. So I don't know, but yeah, I hope we get some kind of information on Crawler. We get to meet Crawl. That'd be cool. Igor enters the stage and rolls his eyes like the Undertaker. Oh my god. Oh my god. That'd be horrifying. Cannibal Plains biome entry. Okay. Is there going where's the skeleton one? Is there a skeleton one? I don't think so. We're reaching uncharted territory now. Tough Shek warrior. Wait, did you see that? Civilian thug mercenary. Yeah, I think the only one. Anyone else? Distinct feeling we're being watched. Uncharted territory. A lot of interjection notes in here. Interesting. Okay. So that's cool. What if Krull was the captain of the force? I forgot the Shek had names before. The captain of the enforcers? Maybe. Maybe. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't know. I've heard some people try to like make the argument that Krull is like an allegory for Stove because like Stove sacrificed himself to save everyone, and the idea is that like Krull fought 100 people to, prove his honor or some shit like that. I have no idea, but I don't personally think that's the case. I don't think the connection is there. I don't think there's enough of a connection there. Obedience is a good one. Obedience is a good one. What the fuck? All right, so add line. Skeleton, same thing. We're gonna do score bonus. Do 100 on that. Give it nice priority. Only once, and his character add earlock. All right. Final days of the first of the ancient empire. Behemoths. Behemoths sent down here. No, let's hold on. In the final days of the ancient empire, the behemoths had lost their purpose. I'm going to kind of mirror the dialogue up here, but make it a little bit more specific. Can't say for certain why they did it. Hold on, why the ancients had them march down here, though many of my kin would claim it was out of fear. Either way, they were walked in to this pit, never to leave. And would never leave. I still remember when it happened. I was working in the Deadlands, drilling for oil. Hold on. Handling the oil. Working oil. And we heard the screams. The entire continent felt the anguished cries of our brothers. Down, trapped beneath steel. Shock that spurs into action. The Empire didn't last long after that. Thankfully, Stobe stopped before we did. Before we. Good job. And I should probably add in a couple of lines where they're asking questions about that. Add interjection, no, and then is race same deal. We're gonna add landers, Greenlanders, Scorchlanders, love it. Check. Hivers. You even talking about just the interjector. Interjector 1. All right, and then this is gear lock once again. What are you even talking about? And then he's just going to say ancient history. Ancient history. Nothing more. He's revealing the lore, but he's not calling too much attention to it. There we go. I was like, why does that word not look right? It's because okay. I think that's a cool line. That's a cool line. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Something else I want to do is I'm actually going to go back to that Holy Nation section. Wait, did that? Hold on. Yeah, this should be in there. Good. Good. I'm going to go back to this Holy Nation section here. I'm actually going to up the score bonus on this to 100 to see if it prioritizes it, because I want this line to be prioritized when you come in here. A lot of his lines are going to take priority when you're switching through places. At least like in the skeleton specific areas, and then the rest of them I'll let them play at random. But in the skeleton specific areas, I want them to take priority. So, all right, let's boot up Kenshi once again and see what we've got going on. I have to go to bed now. Have a nice rest of your stream. Do you have a good evening? Get some rest. Get some much deserved rest. Appreciate you popping in. Appreciate you being here, as always. Save this, right? Appreciate it. Okay. All right, we're loading it in. We're gonna go from there. I don't know if it's gonna trigger in the Holy Nation lands, but we can also head over to Obedience and see what's going on there. We should get some dialogue there, and we should get some dialogue in the Floodlands. And it should prioritize it, which is obviously the primary goal here. Obviously the primary goal. Load. Okay. God damn it, again with this Bugmaster, all that crap. That's not what I'm talking about. It's funny that it keeps defaulting to that one. You don't compare to Catlon. Yeah. All right, move up here. Hopefully, when we move into this territory, it should be there. Is this the Kenshi Historical Preservation Society meeting? Kind of. A little bit. We're adding some dialogue in for Gearlock here. Adding some custom dialogue in for him. All right, so the Holy Nation one is not going to function because they just yes. Okay, whoa. The interjector note did not work though. The interjector note did not work, so we need to figure out why the interjector note didn't work. It could be a race issue. Maybe I just have to leave it as the interjector and just have some other random character say it. Okay, but we got it. We got it. So it did work. We just need to mess with the whole the other part of it. So we did get it. Ah, yes, refuses to elaborate further. Literally. Okay. That's good though. That's good. We did get progress. It did pop open. So we got the yes, the Ochre Knights. What a lovely group of people. Doesn't fucking doesn't explain anything else. We need to figure out why it didn't show up. Why that happened. Greenlander, Scorchlander. So all of these races are in here. And they're interjector speaker 1. So this should be the interjector that says it, but it didn't, and I want to know why that is. Refuses to elaborate. It's so funny. Interesting. Let's look at some of the other ones and see why that's there. Holy Nation is temperamental. Rejection note, and then it should just be the race, Shek or skeleton. Easy for you to say human. They'll slaughter me on sight. So it should be. Do I have to add the interjection note to the dialogue as well? I think I might. In the lore fight, Protector of the Flame versus Igor. Oh yeah, that would be a good one. That'd be a good one. Although I think Cohen versus the Protector of the Flame would make more sense. Cohen. Cone. Okay, so yeah, I think I have to add the dialogue specifically to the race restriction specifically to that. So add my race, add condition as. Okay. We'll try to add it in. So we'll do landers. Shack, and I may have to do this for the other ones as well. Add hive. Perfect. You're kidding, right? All right, so that's got the restriction, and that's gear lock. This needs a restriction as well. Also gear lock. All right. Let's give it a go. One was bred to fight from commodity, the other from nothing. Indeed. Indeed. Same thing. Scorchlanders. Jack. And Hive. Hive. This last. And we're going to reload and we're going to try again. See if we can get this to work. I'm glad that we were able to get it to at least start. The dialogue started. We just need to get it to finish now. Because right now he's just like, the Holy Nation, lovely people, great people, and then nobody says anything and it comes off completely the wrong way. That's not what we meant at all. Okay. So we know that this line has priority now. He'll say this first. Gearlock, political commentator, Holy Nation apologist. I know. Gearlock, you can't be doing that, my guy. You can't be doing that. They're going to come after you, man. They're going to come after you. You're only fueling the rumors. You're only fueling the rumors. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. I get enough shit from people. Okay, you can't be doing that. You just can't. All right, so load up Gearlock. Yes, import that. So we did get it to trigger when we ran into the new biome, so it should work. Hopefully, it should work. Should work. I also like the idea of him like making this joke when you go into Holy Nation territory because realistically speaking, at least in my experience, when I'm in the hub, one of the first places I tend to head is up north towards the Holy Nation territory, and like I go through there because like you use this to get to a lot of good spots. If you want to head towards Mongrel, up through Holy Nation territory. If you want to head up towards the Floodlands, Cannibal Plains, things like that, you're gonna go through Holy Nation territory. Even if you want to get like unless you're going straight over or like to the swamps or something, you really have no reason to come down here, other than going like to the Shack, the swamps, or anything like that. Like a lot, I feel like a lot of times you go up through in this area. So you recruit him in the hub And one of the first places you're going to go is going to trigger this dialogue. And it's kind of like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we're going to head down here. Wait for him to finish the dialogue that he's on. Okay. Now we're going to head down and we're going to see how this goes. And I'm also going to edit some of the other dialogue, some of the existing dialogue as well to have interjection notes for when Gearlock is in the party. So he might go in and say something and change existing dialogue in addition to adding new ones. Okay. Ochre Knights, what a lovely group of people. Doesn't fucking say anything. Doesn't say anything. Maybe, I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. That's great. Okay, so we got to figure out what the deal with that is. We got to figure out what the deal with that is. Gearlock 2024. My man has a plan. Yeah, we got to figure out what the deal with that is. Interjection node. My race Shaq. Yeah, what is the deal? What is the dealio? Let's find one where like Agnew jumps in. Maybe it's like we can look at one where it's a specific character. Actually, Beep is probably a better idea. Beep's got more complicated, more complex dialogue. Beep Agnew random. Okay. This is a good one. That's not a good one. Bad one. Beep random. This will do. Now that Beep is the strongest warrior ever, so do we start with the interjection node? Dialogue is character Beep. Okay. Interjection node. Interjector 2, interjection node 1 is interjector 1. So there's two here, two interjection nodes. One is that they can't be female, one is that they're there. It's just interjector. So maybe I just have to put the interjector node and not specify the race. But the problem is that I don't want a skeleton to say it. You're not the strongest warrior, Beep, but it should be fine. Me condition DC is female. What conditions can I set here? What is that? Do this. There's got to be a way to do. Save running, save recruit, squad size down. Is there a way to make it so that they're not race? Add race. Hold on, I'm gonna. Well, actually, I'll edit that on the other one. Female human ladies. That's true. That's true. We gotta specify the female human ladies. Gotta specify. All right, so let's get rid of the interjection. There is there adds condition. Oh wait, hold on. What's this? This multiple races is treated as an or condition. Okay. Adds a condition. My race is any of the given races. Yeah. So it should work. It's just not. See me. So he says it. Interesting. Interesting. Goddamn bots. Hold on. We got a Twitch bot, everybody. We got a Twitch bot. Filthy clankers popping up into my Twitch stream with their nonsense. Oh, man. How is that legal? How's what legal? Like the Twitch bots and stuff? I don't know. I don't know. The best viewers are already here, right here. Oh no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Slander, absolutely, lies and slander. They're over here slandering, saying there's better viewers than the ones that are in the chat. My God, can't believe skeletons are on the Twitch. I know. Listen, they're mad because I'm revealing the secrets of Kenshi. That Io and the skeletons don't want you guys to know. That's all. That's all. Okay. Interjector. What is this? Okay. Interjectors are set in the green nodes. T target with race will return to the matching line target race you assigned to that line or else fails. Interesting. Interesting. Interjector 1. Figures interjector 1. Yeah, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. Ah. Oh, I banned them. Yeah, I banned them. They're gone. They're gone. Already banned. Already banned. I add a race specific condition. Is that something I can do? Interjector node. The interjector. Type not. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. What are we doing here? Is same race as me. Equals 0. Add. All right, so let's get rid of these race like requirements on the dialogue option and see if that helps. And so what that should do is it should make the interjector not have the same race as gear lock, because gear lock is, excuse me, the one listed as me, so it should be fine. At the doctor from Frostpunk. Me too. I thought the messages were automatically deleted when you ban a Twitch viewer. They're supposed to, but sometimes they sometimes they don't, which is really annoying. Can I message? Oh, they're blocked. Message should be gone. There, I need to actually like make a custom chat mod specifically for this. This is the only bot that I get on Twitch is that specific crap. Yeah, that's the only specific type of bot that I get. I don't get like any other sites or any other thing like nonsense that people are trying to pilfer. It's specifically that stream boot crap. So okay, so we've done this. Hopefully this is enough. Character refers to the speaker only. Yeah, bot looks like the stream boot times odd. Yeah. Indeed. Okay, we're gonna save it. We're gonna try again. I think we may have fixed it. I set the interjector now, so the condition is that the interjector has to not be the same race as Gearlock. It does present an interesting opportunity where like characters like Agnew might say something, but I think Agnew is listed as not being able to speak, so they shouldn't. But if you get a skeleton that's like a P4 unit or something like that, they may comment on it. But that may be an issue for another day. Right now, I just need to get the line of dialogue actually working. Yeah, right now the main concern is getting the line of dialogue actually up and running. Oh man. All right, so you're gonna pop in here. They're gonna say some nonsense about Catlon as they do. All this talk of the Bugmaster this day and age. I don't know why they keep saying it as soon as we load in. That's really annoying, but it's fine. I'm not gonna throw a fit. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm just sick of reading it over and over again. It makes testing this really annoying because I have to wait until fucking until they're done talking before I can move on. Fine. All right, let's head on up here. And we should get the dialogue around up here. The Holy Nation, what a lovely group of people. No, she didn't fucking say anything. Oh my god, she's oh my god, she's trying to make Gearlock look like a monster. What a fine group of people. Doesn't say anything. She doesn't say a fucking word, man. She doesn't say a fucking word, man. Oh my god, why are you doing this? I don't know why this is being so annoying. I've never had this issue. I've done custom dialogue before, and I've never had this issue. Really fucking annoying me, actually. And we'll be fine. Interjector 1, they set the race, and then everything is fine. What the fuck? Why are you doing this to me? What could be the problem? What could be the problem? Do I have to assign a value to the follow-up lines? No, it should be permanent. It should be permanent. I mean, it should just show up. Specifies who's talking. Interjectors are set in the green nodes. T target with race will return to target matching. Target race listed. Sign order. Yeah. 90% of Igor's dialogues. Yeah, literally. Literally. The lie. What else could do this? So we have a Greenlander with us. Shouldn't be an issue. His character, so Gearlock says it. Yep, 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 yep. And then there's the interjector node. Do I maybe have to add another line of dialogue before the interjector? But I don't think so, because I've seen other lines of dialogue where that's not the case. Beep is a great example. We'll do beep randoms. Do I have to do it beforehand, maybe? No, okay, Beep likes his new skeleton parts. Yep. Why does Beep like his new skeleton parts? Projector. Maybe I have to add another line of dialogue before they do that. Interesting. Look at some of the other ones. See what it does. Not that one. Bad one. Where's a biome one? Let's look at a biome one. Fishman Isles. Any dialogue here? Empty? No, no yet. Good to know. Howler Maze. Okay. Yeah, they all have a second line of dialogue, it looks like, before the interjector. So maybe I have to have another line of dialogue before the interjector? No, because this is a specific one. Howler Maze. This island has not been settled. This island is no man's land. It's not been settled. Must be for a good reason. Or if there's a Hive Prince in the party, they will interject and scream crabs. So no, it shouldn't have to be. What the fuck, man? Maybe it's just an issue with my save right now that's doing it. But I'm importing, so it shouldn't be causing a problem. And yet, here we are. And yet, state. We'll do the Phoenixes. Phoenix is okay. It's fine. Interjector node. Subarrays? What? That's weird. She's a Greenlander. So let's see if we can just get the Greenlander to work to start. That's the first part. All this stuff doesn't need a limit because it's there. It should just work. It should just work. That's the thing that's irritating me, is that it should literally just work. It should just work. This shouldn't need to be here, the Gearlock thing. It should just be me, because Gearlock is established as the primary speaker. Race Shack. Does it need to be specified that they're in the party? That's the other thing. I don't think so, but who knows? Fun stuff, guys. This is the fun stuff. Is me trying to figure out why the hell the dialogue is not showing up. Okay, well, let's try that. We remove the race thing. We put the interjector note as Greenlander. Great stream to listen to while making a Bannerlord mod. Well, I'm glad that it's at least semi-enjoyable listening to me prattle on. Trying to figure out why the hell my dialogue is not showing up the way that I want it to. You have one job, game. You have one job. Do as I demand. It is quite literally the purpose of your existence to do as I say. The reason why it's not showing up will be extremely obvious in hindsight when you find it. Oh, I know, too. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. And now we load. And now we load. Then they talk about Catlon for a little while, as they do. Oh, no, I didn't import, so they may actually not talk about Catlon. Okay. Let's see if they do it now. Say the die. You gonna say the line? You gonna forget your lines again? Or are you just gonna come in here saying heinous shit? I'm gonna have to import, aren't I? You rat bastard. They're gonna make me import in order for the line to be said. I'm gonna have to restart because I have to import. How annoying. Just me starting and stopping Kenshi repeatedly. Top tier quality, guys. Top tier quality stuff. Watching me restart Kenshi 50 times. What's one thing you imagine a character in game would have, but because of being a game, they don't? Like Igor's chitinous beard. Oh shit. Oh boy, oh boy. I think Tin Fist should be like more like wrapped up in like he should have like a lot more like patchwork pieces. Like he should be wrapped up in like duct tape and shit like that. That would be fun. That would be good. That would be good. I saw Tin Fist in half with the power of flex tape. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think Tin Fist should be patchworked. I think Burn should be patchworked too. Yeah, I think Catlon should be more rusty. Be much more rusty. Catlon should be full on Rusty Shackleford. Rusty Shackleford. Yeah, yes, reset all our skills, huh? That's how you end up with legends like Catlon. Forget the Bugmaster, Igor, Stone Golem. They don't compare to Catlon, yada, yada, yada. Okay, let's see if Gearlock is going to say more heinous shit. Am I going to have to, like, call somebody, or is he going to actually do what I need him to say, like, say what I need him to say? See what happens. Come on. Oh, so he's saying the things. The issue is that he's not getting the additional prompts afterwards because Vagabond here isn't saying what they need to say. What if Catlon replaced every part over the years but his CPU? I mean, I find it would be difficult to replace parts by and large. The other thing too that is important to remember, um, is like if the skeletons were capable of replace or like able to replace their parts easily or regularly to prevent rust or decay, they would still have an outer shell, and they don't. It's implied that the skeletons weren't always so like exposed to the elements. They used to have a shell. God damn it, Vagabond! What is the problem? Why are you not saying the words? You're supposed to say the words. He says the words, then you say the words. That's how this is supposed to go. Maybe hold on. I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. Let's take this line. Add a line. Nope, not that. Add a line to you. Yep. Okay. What a lovely group of people. Then we're going to add the line there. Okay. Now we add the interjector. So now there's 2 lines there. And hopefully that will... Maybe that'll do it. Because all the other ones looked like they had 2. Maybe if I add another line in there, it'll be fine. Ew, what is that? Oh, these are 2 conditions. 100 speaker, yada yada. Okay, all right. So now we've added conditions. Hopefully that'll do it. Don't burn me at the stake. Maybe. Hey, what's going on? I've been thinking again. Dangerous, I know. It happens. Don't worry about it. It happens. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. Oh my god. My squad will stop talking about repairing dry wells. That's so funny. Someone just commented on my the Sentient Sand stream from last night and said that the squad won't stop talking about repairing dry wells. And it's funny because I had the same issue last night. I didn't talk about it really, but they did keep talking about the dry wells and it was dry wells and blades being damaged from the sands. It kept talking about it last night. It was funny. It was funny. I laughed about it just now. Aha. Lore question: Can skeletons burp? No. Nope. They can like bug or glitch out, or they could they could probably like release some kind of like fume or air, but I don't think it'd be technically considered like a burp. It'd be more like an exhaust pop. Yeah. All right, we need to run through this Bugmaster crap. Piston hissing. Yeah. Just a loud pop, you know. Little puff, little stutter, little puff. That kind of thing. Okay, come on. Say the line. Say the line, Vagabond. Come on. My theory is that things in their heads being exhaust pipes. I mean, this thing right here, this like spinal cord, maybe, mayhaps little exhaust fumes pop out of here, out of these little sprockets. Who knows? Who knows? I hope that if we see skeletons in when we see skeletons in Kenshi 2, I hope they are maybe a little bit more put together. Like I hope they maybe don't have as much degradation. Maybe they have like a little bit more like shells that I was talking about. Oh, these things? Maybe they kind of look like exhaust pipes. Are they indented? Maybe. Although not every version of the skeletons have those, so maybe not. Who knows? Do you think they'll have explosives in their mics? Like, do you think they have a lot of explosives in their mic, like a kid playing an online game? Maybe. Maybe. I've always imagined their dialogue and stuff when they and stuff more like a computer glitching, like when you open too many tabs and it gives the whole like sound. That kind of thing. What a lovely group of people. And now Vagabond, you speak. What the fuck, man? She just won't talk. She just won't talk. Why? I wonder if it's something wrong with her. Is there something wrong with you? Is there an issue with you? Are you the problem? You're just a Greenlander, right? Like what is the fucking problem? There's got what is the deal? What is the happenings right now? What is happening? Why are you not saying the words? He's saying his line. I just can't get them to say theirs, and that's it. No. Rune, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. We're trying to figure out why my my follower is saying their line of dialogue. The interjection run is not working. However, where um, other NPCs are supposed to speak. It's annoying. It's gonna be one of those things where as soon as I figure out what it is, it's gonna be so stupid. It's gonna be so stupid. Oh, oh boy. Oh boy. Interjection node. Yeah, I cannot for the life of me figure out why this is such a problem. Maybe I gotta start a new maybe I have to start a new no, it shouldn't cause that kind of a problem because it shouldn't cause that kind of a problem. It shouldn't. Do you think they used to sound more human in the first Empire, or do you think they always sounded different? I think they always sounded different. I think they always sounded different. I think they use vocalizers and they kind of have like a modulated voice, and I think that when they like as much as it's really funny to imagine like a high pitched like screeching sound, I think it's more likely that it's like an undulated mechanical like glitchy like ring sound like again when you're opening too many tabs, or like if somebody's in the middle of speaking in like a video and then your computer bugs out and it's just repeating that same like 0.001 second um clip where it just sounds really like loud mechanically, just like that kind of thing. um I imagine that's what the is. Although it's really funny to imagine the reeing sound when like when Catlan lets out the as being like a really loud, high pitched like kid style but I doubt it. I doubt it. Artificially adjust the score to give a line priority. Yeah, yeah. Well, the priority's not fucking working. I shouldn't have to artificially like adjust it. It should just do it. The only thing I can think of is to maybe start a new game and see if that helps. But like, it really shouldn't be causing this much of an issue. I'm wondering if maybe it's just a new game thing. But when I import, it should be fine. It should reload everything and start without an issue. I don't know. We're gonna start it up, and if it doesn't work this time, we're gonna run to the Floodlands and see if the Floodlands dialogue kicks in properly. First Empire Skeleton, California Love. Exactly. Exactly. You fucking nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. Righty then. We'll get it working. Like I said, when I finally figure it out, it's gonna be something so stupid. It's gonna be so dumb. Alrighty. Hold on, we gotta wait for the Bugmaster dialogue to run out. We're depressed. Sad boy, sad boy. Yada yada. End up with Catlon. Okay. Try again. It may be an issue with like Vagabond here. I'm not totally certain. Because his dialogue's working fine. It's the injector that's not working. And I've never had this issue with injectors working. People, and then she doesn't say anything. So I'm wondering if it's a save issue, because this is just like it's like with my arena mod, you know, when I was getting that set up for the Kenshi Coliseum, I was running into the issue where it was supposed to be everything was correct. There was no reason it shouldn't have been showing up in game when I loaded up the save, and yet it wasn't. I had to go in and do my adjustments to it, and then in game I had to do an adjustment to it, and then all of a sudden it worked. So I'm wondering if it's just something like that, which is annoying, but is fixable. So it might just be one of those things where this particular save file is not going to work right now because, you know, that's how save files like to work sometimes. So that might be something I can just adjust and try again later. I went to the reprogramming workshop again, and I remember that the air codes was it 0xFFFFFFFFF squadron was there before. What do you think happened? Did the reprogramming get canceled, interrupted? Something about how they immediately start referring to the player as master just makes me think that something was cut short or interrupted. Maybe they were meant to be thralled. Okay, so the air bots in the reprogramming workstation are first empire, not second. So second empire is like a blue-gray. The green indicates that they were probably first empire skeletons. Now, the skeletons of the first empire were designed as tools, not as people. And so the idea was that if you needed the skeleton to, you know, go mine copper, you'd create a skeleton and you'd upload all the information and data and skill set and personality for them to be efficient at mining copper. And then say you needed to have them go do drill oil. You would send them to a reprogramming station, and they would have all of their data stripped out. They'd be reset, and then they'd have new data to make them proficient at that new job uploaded. And that was the purpose of the reprogramming stations. The airbots, which is also why they call you master when you open up, because they were mid reprogramming. They were, you know, probably purged of all data and then basically set to factory reset. Notice how they're all soldier bots. They're all the soldier bot variant of skeletons. They were set back to factory default, and factory default is, you know, being a soldier, defending, you know, doing what they're supposed to do, protecting the site, the job sites, all of that stuff. First Empire falls, they get locked inside the reprogramming center, probably before they were given new assignments, before they were given new jobs, and they've been stuck there for thousands of years. You open it up, and they naturally, because of their corroded, you know, CPUs, in addition to the fact that they were never reprogrammed, they were purged and then never reprogrammed. They automatically assume that you're their master, and they follow their basic directive, which is protect the master. Protect the master. So they were First Empire soldier bots that had not been they were in the middle of being reprogrammed, and for whatever reason, when the Empire fell or they were abandoned, whatever it is, they were locked inside that reprogramming center, and they were stuck on factory default, and they eventually corroded out. But they corroded slower than other skeletons would have, that we've seen, you know, that have been wandering around Kenshi for thousands of years, because they were at factory default. They had no nothing going on. So something interesting is that it seems like isolation actually slows the decay of the CPUs and stuff when will actually slow the decay. because they're not experiencing anything new. They're only experiencing the stuff that they already have in their system. So they're not adding more to the bloat. So the bloat that exists is still there. But the CPU is not getting continuously added more stress to. So they can actually like being isolated will actually extend the lifespan of skeletons. Where they won't have to reset or they won't corrode and burn out. Isolation will actually extend out their life, which is why the airbots have been, aren't completely corroded by the time you get to modern day Kenshi. But yeah, they were first Empire skeletons that hadn't been reprogrammed yet. And by the time of the second Empire, pretty much all of the Deadlands was underwater under a lake of acid. So that particular reprogramming center was also very, very likely like under a lake of acid. So they were submerged under acid during that time as well. So like no one could even go in there during the Second Empire. Like they've probably only recently in the last couple centuries been even capable of moving around again. They were probably completely submerged for a while. Probably completely submerged for a while. All right, let's see if the obedience dialogue kicks in properly. I'm wondering if it's going to be another issue with the interjector. Because if it is, I think it might just be the save. Because I've never had this interjector issue before. Should happen right as we walk into the center there. Ochre Knights, what a fine group of people. I know. It's not supposed to be just that. He's supposed to also talk about like how they used to be better, and then like over the last couple of centuries, things have obviously changed. Things aren't the way that they used to be, all that stuff. And it doesn't look like my obedience dialogue is kicking in either. So I'm wondering if it's just an issue with the save file. Getting my ass beat. I think it is. I think it's an issue with the save file. No big deal. No big deal. We may just need to make a new save file at some point to try this out. But I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Okay, guys. It's about 11 o'clock. I'm fucking wiped. Full on pooed, man. I'm tired. I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a base building video, I believe is what I had set up for Wednesday. I think you just got to accept that Gearlock is pro Holy Nation. Wouldn't that be weird? Gearlock was the first Phoenix confirmed. That's another interesting thing about skeletons, that complete isolation helps negate CPU blow. It's likely not an issue for the first Empire bot since they're tools, not people. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, so I'm wiped. I'm gonna get some sleep. Like I said, the streams this week I'm gonna be cutting around 11 instead of the usual midnight 1 o'clock because one, I'm not doing like a series right now. I'm just doing random shit until I start a new series probably next week. But also I'm trying to like incrementally catch up on sleep. So I'm gonna head to bed. I am exhausted, but I will be on tomorrow. We're gonna be doing a build video tomorrow, so that'll be fun. As always, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Use your powers for good instead of evil. Make a difference in somebody's life. And Gearlock is not pro Holy Nation. I promise. He just needs to go through, do a quick reset. Okay, he's got some stuff going on. He's got some stuff going on. We'll get it worked out. I think it's a save file issue. Truly, I think it's just the save files being stupid. But I'll do some testing on the back end, see if I can get it to work. Anyway, have a good night, everybody.